like Genshin Impact, a game that took the internet over for a while, and I guess now it's kind of died down a bit. But I guess I've seen people still play the game and actually enjoy it, so I guess there's something there. It was about time I made this video anyway, because I've been waiting to do this anyway. So, yay. Anyway, alright, so the big question is, do I like this game? Well, yeah, sure, I do like this game. I've played my fair share of it, and I enjoyed what I played. I really need to get back into it, actually, honestly. Like, I could possibly do some gameplay videos on that, if I ever chose to, anyway. What else? If you ask me, I really feel like this game does feel pretty similar to, like, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. If you played that game, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know. I don't see that as a bad thing. Like, if you truly ask me, though, I personally feel like the game in itself has its own, like, twist on things and does things its own way to really give it its own identity, but it does have some familiarity to it. Like, you play this game for the first time, you feel like you've played this game before. I don't know, but I kind of like that it's trying something different. Like, some would consider it a gacha game while some don't. I mean, I can kind of see the gacha aspect of it. Seriously, I really do see it. But overall, it's kind of debatable on whether you want to call this a gacha game or not, but it's whatever, honestly. It's like it's a solid 3D action game that you can really jump into at any point, honestly. Not very hard to get, like, to start, like, jumping into and mastering the game. Then that's when you're going to start, like, thinking, like, what character should I get, who's not good, who's good, and then what weapons you should use, like, all that stuff. And honestly, with the whole summoning system and, like, how the constellations work, like, when you get dupes of characters, I think it at least gives you more incentive to actually like, get more of that character, since, like, it unlocks extra abilities or whatnot. Like, that's something I actually like out of it. Like, if you ask me personally, I think that, well, overall, yeah, just the gameplay's pretty solid. There isn't really much wrong with it. The soundtrack in this game is phenomenal, seriously. I guess I could actually just sit back and just, I don't know, just chill out to it, I guess. Lay down, sleep, I don't know, do some work or something to it. And the battle music, it's like, I feel like there's more than one variation of it, but it's like, it has that bit of tensity into it. But, like, major boss battles, like, say, Storm Terror, when you go to his, go to the fortress, and when you fight him, it's like, then you really know, like, you're actually fighting a major boss. Like, that right there is something that's down packed. I really think they got it, like, solid when making the soundtrack, and the style of the soundtrack that they went for, it's a lot more ambient than I ever thought it would be. And that's something I didn't think I'd ever say. Like, to me, like, just roaming around the world is a lot more ambient, but it has that peaceful tone to it. Like, it really makes you feel like one with the world. Like, nothing can really ruin it. You just sit back and relax, honestly. And I like that. The game, like, and now in terms of the world itself, I really feel like they did a good job of, like, making a world that you can actually explore. And the world building in the game is actually kind of interesting, because, like, there's a lot of people to talk to, like, a lot of people within, like, Mondstadt or Liyue, like, some of the big areas of the game. Like, wherever you are, there's someone there, and you can probably talk to them and get some interesting dialogue out of them to maybe get some more insight on the lore of the game, or just have a comedic moment, or just do some world building in general. Like, some of the major plot points is, like, the Adepti, when you're, like, say you're on the quest with Zhao and you're doing all the stuff with him, and it's like, and you're actually introduced to a lot of the underground lore of the game, because you're not immediately told all of this. Because like all the stuff with the Adeptus and stuff like that, it's not something you're immediately told. You go through the story and then you learn about this through like ancient history books and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, these guys are a pretty big deal, and like it's something that kind of hits you. Like there's a major importance to all the Adepti that you run into and all the stuff that involves them. It's like it has some importance here. Like you should probably investigate it or do something with it. Like I really feel like in terms of the lore, I feel like they wanted to make it so it's like you decide how you want to roll with this, because there is a main story to this game, but I feel like they let you do it at your own pace. Like there isn't exactly a pacing problem because they're letting you do it at your pace. If you want to go through the main story as fast as possible, that's completely fine. That's up to you. Or if you want to like do some world building and stuff before continuing, that's also fine. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. The only real negatives I have with Genshin Impact, it's like, one, there is like, after you really do much of everything that you possibly can, there isn't really much you can do. Honestly, this is just a nitpick, so this is just me, but it's like it just doesn't, there's a sense of boredom, like you're just kind of waiting for something to happen. Or but then again, there's kind of a merit in trying to make something happen. Like you take on a boss fight or something at a higher difficulty, and I guess it mitigates the problem, so there's that too. So it's a little bit like, yeah, as I said, it's a nitpick, but it's like that's just me, I guess. The other problem I do have with this is the fact that, remember how I said like the story you can take it at your own pace? Well, there are times in the story where you're gonna need to be a specific level to even continue said story. Not your character level, your adventure rank, your main level. That you have to have your adventure rank at a specific point. Like the last time I played this game, I actually, like, there was a part in the story I got to, and it stopped me because it said I had to be at like, what was it, like adventure 26, I think? And it's like I had to sit there for hours just grinding up to adventure 26 to finally continue the story, because I was actually legitimately dedicated and I was very interested in where the story was actually going. Because like you meet all the Knights of Favonius and like you kind of want to know what's up with them and what they're dealing with. Because like after you defeat Storm Terror, it's like I don't want to say they take a back seat, but they kind of, it's a weird thing where they don't have as much of an importance in the story as before, but they're still kind of like the figure, kind of like, well, they are the guys that run everything, but they don't do as much as before. But then again, that's only since I last played the game, so I could be wrong on that. Correct me if I'm wrong and do all that. But overall, that's the only real negatives I have with Genshin Impact. I'm completely fine with everything else. And I remember when people were complaining about the Resin problem, like how you couldn't really get too much of that, and they were having a problem getting all of that because you need Resin to claim the rewards after boss battles or dungeons or whatever. And I actually did find that a legitimate problem back then as well. I'm not sure if they fixed it, so I can't complain about it too much. Like if they didn't fix it, then I'd probably find some reason to complain, make that another thing wrong with the game. But if they did fix it, then there you go. So, but yeah, as I said, I can't speak too much on that because even I don't know if they fixed that problem or not. So with that being said, I feel like with the characters in the game that you can get a hold of, like there is like your main character that you play as, like, well, yeah, one of the twins that you select at the very start of the game, whatever. You it's like you get them, and then you get access to play as some of the Knights of Favonius, which are like some of the most basic characters that you can get a hold of. but it's like at least it does teach you like what the different elements are in the game. There's fire, water, ice, electric, there's earth, and like a whole bunch, and there's also a whole bunch of stuff in the game. Like multiple characters share the same element, but they use it in different ways, and that's what I like out of the game. Like the character diversity is actually pretty cool. Like one of like Amber throws a doll that dances around for a little bit, which distracts enemies and pulls them towards it, and then explodes to do a lot of fire damage to them. And the biggest thing I really like about this game is the fact that you can take multiple characters with different elements and combine their elements together to do specific damage, like overcharge damage when you take fire and electric, or like I don't know, you take electric and ice or water, and you do superconduct damage, like over time. Like that's something I really like. So you have a lot more diversity of what characters you can bring and how to take advantage of their abilities. That's something I actually like. You can do, and hell, I think wind is probably the most versatile, because like you can use like wind and fire for some fire tornado stuff, or like maybe water and wind for something like that. I really think that's cool too. And you can do like you can do wind electricity for a whole shocking vortex and stuff like that. Like one of the biggest characters I think people would come to in terms of wind, like probably one of the best characters to think about, it would probably be Venti, and for good reason, because that skill of his, he creates like a black hole that's just a bunch of wind, and you can switch to another character, shoot a different element in there, and it just does so much damage. And I really like that you can really get the most out of characters like that. That's how, like, if you're gonna have multiple characters with elements and stuff like that, that's how I feel it should be done. That's how I feel it should be done. Like, make them so they can combine elements. So you have more of a reason to use multiple characters in a fight instead of just spamming one, you know? It just makes sense that way. But like, if there's bosses that are immune to a specific element, like say you're fighting an ice boss, you're going to want to use a fire character to do more damage against them. That's completely fine. Like say you use Venti and I don't know, Diluc or something. You use like their Omega Fire Tornado thing as like, and you're fighting an ice boss. That ice boss will be shredded to pieces because you're taking advantage of the combined elements, and you're really taking advantage of how you use said characters. Like, that's something I truly do like about the game. It just gives you more reason to have those characters. So, with all that being said, with the game being out on PlayStation and mobile, I don't even know if it's out on anything else. Oh yeah, and PC. With it being on those, would I recommend you play this game? Sure, I'd recommend it. It is not a bad game by any means. It's actually pretty nice. It's actually a pretty good game. I at least think so anyway. If you want to think the game is trash, go right ahead. If you want to think the game is good, go right ahead. I won't stop you on that. So, yeah, with that being said, I believe that will end the video. So thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And comment down below what you think of Genshin Impact. Like, do you like the game? Do you hate it? I don't know. Comment down below. We'll see. And maybe we could talk about our different perspectives. I like the game. Maybe you have a different opinion. Or maybe you agree. Maybe we can talk about it. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.